1 year ago this week, the right wing responded to the release of Army Sergeant Bowe Bergdahl. John Boehner called for hearings regarding his release. Remember that Bowe Bergdahl was held captive by the Taliban for close to 6 years. He was released as part of a prisoner exchange in which 5 Taliban members were released from Guantanamo Bay. He was called a traitor by many Americans. There was a letter that he sent to his parents right before his capture, where he said he was ashamed to be an American, that was used by the right to make him seem sort of like he was sympathizing with terrorists. And now we are actually going to see what happens with the allegation that he was a deserter. Remember at the time, Lewis, right-wingers were saying, we shouldn't be trading for someone who's a deserter. And we said at the time, you need to have charges and then a trial to determine if someone is a deserter. He may well be a deserter. But because he is accused of being one does not mean that the United States no longer has a responsibility to this individual. We have him back. He has now been charged with desertion and some other misbehavior as well, I believe. And hearings will start next month, and then we will see.
Yeah, it has not been in the media really at all. Of course, it's kind of disappeared, but perhaps once the hearings start back up, we'll have another media frenzy. I'm very curious to see what happens here. If he is found guilty of desertion and these other charges, the right wing is going to go crazy.
Yeah, but the thing is, it will be completely unwarranted because, first of all, what if he was charged and then found not guilty? Right? Just because he has been charged, we have a system of law here. This is an American. This is someone that was available to be traded for. And that's what we did. We have a responsibility to this individual. And I know you're right. The right wing is going to go crazy if he is ultimately found to be guilty of desertion. But the suspicion of a crime, if you're going to stick to Bill Cosby is not guilty of anything because he hasn't been charged or convicted, then you have to say that Bowe Bergdahl has to be afforded all of the same protections and privileges and rights that anybody would be afforded as someone serving our country overseas. Merely because there is a suspicion of desertion, you can't treat him differently.
The thing is, if that letter were never sent, never written, never became public, we probably wouldn't be talking about this at all right now.
That letter, it was the catalyst for a lot of this controversy.
Yeah, so I guess, think twice before you write your parents a letter.
Yeah, and certainly Lewis adheres to that. Lewis will not write his parents any letters. I am sure it is because he is worried at some point it could be held against him and prevent a prisoner swap from getting Lewis back in the contiguous 48 states. I'm sure that's why you don't write letters to your parents, right?
Why risk it? That's what I say.
Last thing you want is that letter being evidence in some kind of federal trial, right?
Yes, although I think I'll be avoiding federal trials. That's my goal.
Join us on the bonus show. Lewis hosts the bonus show. I am the sidekick on the bonus show. All subscribers through the membership program get access to that bonus show. You can sign up today at davidpakman.com/membership.